Let's rest, fall a while freeze. I still can't believe how overwhelming and exhausting our discussion is in feminist ethics.
Exactly. There is a lot of information that we should understand and comprehend.
But you know guys, despite the discussion and being execution, it's actually beneficial because we learn new pieces of information that are useful and crucial to our life, right?
I agree. In the end, it will always help us to live a right and ethical life.
Let me tell you guys the most important lesson that became remarkable to me. It is how unethical it is to change our sexual orientation or body parts that are provided to us by God, because it is a sign of disrespect to our Creator, God. But the astonishing part about this topic is that it presents different ethical dilemmas.
We are of one mind, Charles. That's why there is a need to respect and take care of our life, because that way we can also show our respect to our Creator God.
I do agree with both of you. As Dr. Manalo 2020 noted, we cannot forget why living a good life is fundamental. Not only is life is precious, but also the concept sacred life. We do not own our lives to live our life to the fullest extent possible. Aside from that, sexual reassignment contravenes the premium non-necessary principle. First, do not harm. Like from what I've mentioned before, the materialist ethic of we can do something, we should do it, has fostered an environment in which people perceive no harm in physicians removing viable reproductive organs from people who want them and fabricating artificial. It has also no effect on a person's sex and hence offers no real benefit. Instead, it violates the beneficence principle, which entails effectively including all sorts of conduct meant to assist or advance every people's being.
Precisely, I also remember the last ethical dilemma wherein through this process of sexual reassignment, we are allowing surgeons to possibly take our lives. All physicians involved in the treatment of gender dysphoria face significant bioethical challenges and dilemmas. A multidisciplinary approach is required, but it does not always guarantee success.
Let me add the last ethical dilemma, which is there is no greater possibility that the outcome of the surgery of the patients will be successful, sometimes leading them to let their surgeons take their lives, and they are harming the healthy reproductive organs of their patients.
Wow! We are becoming very knowledgeable about sexual reassignment, aren't we?
You took the words right out of my mouth, Zeus.
But you know guys, there is still things that I don't understand. Like how do people discover and realize that they are transgender, gender non-conforming, genderqueer, or non-binary?
Well, as far as I know, it has something to do about gendered identity and expression. They are frequently misunderstood to be connected to sexual or romantic desire. A trans person, on the other hand, can identify as a man and be homosexual or attracted to other men, straight or attracted to women, bisexual, asexual, or sexually attracted to no one, or attracted to a conventionally undefined gender, even if he was assigned female at birth. But my question is there a courteous way to inquire about their sexuality and or identity?
Well, mine would be that what are the challenges faced by trans people? Why does society make it so difficult for those who don't confront the gender roles?
Admirably, there are things that even though talked about in the mainstream media, it is not still clear, like what is gender dysphoria and what causes it.
Aptly, since we're in the topic, how can I show support for transgender relatives, friends, or significant others?
According to what I've read, when it comes to sexual reassignment, gender dysphoria refers to psychological suffering caused by a mismatch between one's sex given at birth and one's gender identity. It usually starts in childhood, but some people may not notice it until they reach adolescence or later. Gender dysphoria is classified as a single disorder in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Gender dysphoria is diagnosed as a marked incongruence between one's experienced or expressed gender and one's assigned gender that lasts at least 6 months in adolescents, adults, and children.
Exactly. Also, the disorder must be linked with clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other relevant areas of functioning in order to meet the diagnosis requirements. They require support and love in treating gender dysphoria as every human deserves, especially because they are the ones who are most stigmatized, discriminated against, and victimized, contributing to a negative self-image and higher incidence of other mental health illnesses.
We can also show support by giving them various domains of affirmation, like adopting their pronouns, names, and various aspects of their gender. Expression that match their gender identity, supporting their choice to have pubertal suppression, gender affirming hormones, or even surgical affirmation. Besides, we can show our support by talking to them and having an open-minded exploration of their feelings and experiences of gender identity and expression, because relying on therapists may be overwhelming for them.
In addition to what Carlo said, family and couples therapy as well as peer support groups or any other type of support group can help a person's mental health thrive by validating and sharing experiences, as family and societal reduction of gender identity are among the strongest predictors of mental health difficulties among them.
But what about Janela and Carlos' question?
Actually, everyone's sexuality is different. It's not necessarily means as gay or straight. Some people are attracted to only one sex, and others are attracted to a diversity of people regardless of sex and gender, with a whole lot of different preferences in between. Also, to politely ask about someone's sexuality, we can ask them something like, I was wondering something, but I'm not sure how to ask it. I am curious about what your sexual orientation is. Not that it matters. I just had the question on my mind for some time. If you don't want to tell me, that's okay too. When we ask about their sexuality, we keep in mind that it doesn't matter what their sexual orientation is. They are still the same person as before you ask them. Also, take no for an answer. If they don't want to share it, it's alright.
Thank you, Maritoni, for answering my question and curiosity about why society makes it so difficult for those who don't conform to gender roles. But also, I am curious about Carla's questions.
I love Carla's questions because it talks about the discriminations and struggles that the trans people experience despite the advancement of our society. Well, to answer his first question, a person harasses another if they engage in unwanted conduct related to gender reassignment, which has the purpose or effect of violating the other person's dignity or of creating an intimidating, hostile, degrading, humiliating, or offensive environment. They are being humiliated, subject to unwanted comments, ignored, and even excluded in our society.
That's quite saddening, but let me add something to what Charles noted and also to answer Carla's second question. I think the reason why society makes it so difficult for those who cannot conform to their gender role is that they may be uncomfortable with the actions of someone belonging to the third gender, or they are accustomed to the two gender that we have before. It is also because of the conservative society that we have. However, we should still embrace who we are and what we are towards having peace between any gender role in our society.
Indeed, regardless of our identity, we must accept and acknowledge everyone's role in our society.
Point well taken, guys. Anyway, I can't deny the fact that we all learned a lot from our discussion. All of these will serve as a guide in helping us live a right and ethical life. But let me conclude all the things that we have stated. Sexual reassignment or even gender dysphoria might be the best decision to do for a person trying to change his or her identity. However, it is an ethical decision that is affiliated with different ethical dilemmas. We must always keep in mind the consequences of this action, not just to ourselves, but also to the surgeon that will help us in this transition, and to our Creator, God. However, we can show our support by talking to them and helping them express their gender identity without changing any parts of their body, and gradually, it will help in alleviating their feelings.
Not agree with you more, Zeus, but guys, I think it is already time for our next class. So we should hurry up before our prof comes.
We didn't notice that time. But anyway, thank you, everyone, for the meaningful and beneficial discussion that we had.
Until next time, guys, thank you!